Well, I get excited when I think about Black History Month. I think it is such a meaningful, thoughtful time of reflection on the contributions of Black Americans in our country. And when you're doing this reflection and we're telling these stories of Black history, it's so easy to gravitate to those larger than life figures who've done so much to transform our society. Like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks and Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver and so many others that we know from the pages of those books we've studied. But I also like to think about Black history contributors and Black history makers who didn't make the history books. And I had an opportunity to sit with my dear friend Reggie Torbor, who's a colleague at Brassfield and Gorey, and we were talking about our grandfathers. And Reggie talked about how his grandfather was very instrumental in making sure he knew about Black history and knew Black history that was defined in the history books and beyond. And he talked about how important that was in just shaping his identity and appreciation for Black culture. And it made me think about my own grandfather, who passed away in 2021. His name was Bernard Kelly. We affectionately called him Bud. And he was an entrepreneur. He was born in Pocahontas, Mississippi in the late 20s. And so in a very different world, different time from anything I could have ever experienced or known. But he, with a very limited education, went on to become an entrepreneur in the construction industry. And I can't imagine the hurdles and challenges he probably had in building a successful company in the time that he did, but he did it, and he planted a seed of entrepreneurship in our family. And fast forward, my dad became an entrepreneur in the construction industry, and fast forward from that, I am now in this really special role at Brassfield and Gorey as the Director of Corporate Responsibility, working to champion opportunities for people who look like me. So it's been a very full circle experience to be sitting in a seat where I now have the responsibility and opportunity to create access for Black business owners, to expand our recruiting efforts at historically Black colleges and universities, and ensure that we're increasing representation of people who look like me and other people of color and women in the industry, which is really powerful. So when I think about Black history now, I think about the opportunity that we all have collectively to make Black history going forward, in the intentionality, in the decisions we make, and in the commitments we make to make sure that we create opportunities for everyone, especially Black students, Black business owners, Black partners in the communities who have so much to contribute. So I hope that as we think about Black History Month, we all think about it from the perspective of making history for the future, making sure that we hold open the door and do the things that we can do to celebrate great Black history contributors for years to come.